The challenge series returns once again. I'm trying to speed up the upload schedule, I swear. Week 148 begins at Michigan Raceway, Michigan. I've done that before, I know I have. Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Doesn't help it wasn't called Michelin Raceway before. The last time I saw this in a video game, which is like, oh god, like Forza 4? I think it was in 4? So, you know, a game from 14 years ago. It's also the last time I saw Sebring, I think. I don't even know. I don't even remember if those two tracks were in 4. No, they were both in 2. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Road Atlanta, the Demon Sports testing facility, and Demon Sports... Oh, my finger just cracked. Demon Sports definitely out in force in this one. I think there's at least a couple in the race. So not really out in force, but it is the 600 class, and that's not really a priority for Demon Sports. They mostly sit in the 675 and up classes. That was definitely a way to word that. My sentence structure is a little off. Hopefully that works itself out as the episode goes on. And we are away from Road Atlanta in the 600 class. Can already tell who's four-wheel drive out of this starting grid as Thea jumps from, I think, 5th to 2nd. Well before we even get anywhere near T1. The pole sitter of Tony Berry gets away cleanly as Thomas O'Reilly didn't have the proper torque curve to maintain his 2nd place. There is, I believe... Yeah, no. Is that the only... No, it is one of 2 new cars in this race. Only one debuting driver. We'll see them at the end of the week. But for now, Juan Santo finally has the 2nd car in the Challenge Series. It's taken him long goddamn enough. With the old 300 SEL. I think it's a kit car, actually. But, it's not like Ivan Sodakov, where it is actually the genuine article that raced in like 1973. It might be a modified version of the production model, but it's not a race car like from stock. That is such a loud Camaro. Oh, we got paint being exchanged up here. Up. And Noir's at it again. I mean, Thea did basically just park the bus at the apex of that chicane. I don't think she was really ready for that, but... Noir clearly having learned nothing, or very little, after returning from her vacation. Siegfried Brandt is the POV driver in his S13. And he will attempt to go away after Juan Santo up there. The other new one in the field, if I can find her. Melissa White's driving a literal Toyota RAV4. This is the first of 2 new vehicles we'll see for her. As she's kind of pivoted from Toyota Rally to off-road capable, as she just kind of embarrassed Yo down the S's there. That was kind of pathetic looking. Yeah, just like Toyota off-road capable. It's no longer just, it doesn't have to be a rally car. The RAV4 Adventure trim is definitely able to drive off-road. Maybe not the best choice, but you can definitely do it. Meanwhile, Siegfried Brandt into the top 3, pursuing Tony Berry, and then his teammate Thomas O'Reilly, who's gotten a bit of a comfortable lead at this point in the race. Logan running P6 of his team's home course. I think he started kind of in the lower mid-pack, like around 12th or 13th, if I'm not mistaken, so he has had a strong start, if that is correct. And Brandt is going to get the Tundra on the exit of the final turn. The lighter car able to maintain more momentum at a high-speed corner, such as that one. Now he's got to find about 2.5 seconds on his teammate to try and claim the race lead, as we haven't even technically passed halfway yet. This will be on the shorter side of races, probably clocking in about just shy of 8 minutes here from Road Atlanta for 5 laps, even in this slower category. And Brandt is definitely eating into that gap, probably down to about a second now. Going forward with the S13 driver as he attempts to reel in that 32 Roadster up there. Not exactly the line I would take there. That Roadster is going to be strong on a straightaway, especially with the very awkward exit that Brandt just had, so I don't think he'll be gaining much time here. Meanwhile, Logan recently overtook Umi for P5. And Umi has another C1 Corvette in her mirrors now, as Taro Kitano has also caught her. Down the inside the C1 goes, but cannot get the braking done. Here we go, battle for the lead. Brandt with a strong run off the final turn. They make contact! I think Thomas might have thought he was clear, and he wasn't. Those long front tires sticking out of the front of the car, but it does not stop Brandt from moving into the lead with 2 laps to go in the race. And that might be the last pass we see near the front of the grid. The top 5 are pretty spread out. The highest battle in terms of placement on the track is this fight for 6th, which is may soon involve a pair of admins, as here come Thrasher and Tyler to try and also, you know, try and take these spots away from these two. Taro with a very good run from the exit of the S's there, and the Corvette will also have a straight line advantage. See if Umi can arc it in properly. Still hanging on in the Volvo V40. Milking that Gershiger for all it's worth. Juan Santo, I think, made an error up ahead. And Logan Cool is there to capitalize. We'll see if he can, as Taro does get the move done eventually on Umi, and we'll look to see if another C1 Corvette overtake is on the cards here as we head towards the final lap. Maxing out the 5th gear, and damn near runs into the back of Santo. Logan barely gets it stopped in time to avoid that disaster. Battle between the admins for 8th position. It's all going bananas in the upper, you know, or yeah, just the mid-pack, basically. Umi probably about to lose that spot to the F-150. Yep, just better run off the final turn. Not really sure how a truck just outmaneuvered a hatchback. I guess it's probably being front-wheel drive. Let's see if the Charger can do the same thing. Uni is not too far away either. Natsuki with a relatively underwhelming run. I wouldn't be surprised if her and Shoji have gotten together at some point in this race, given what happened the last time they shared a racetrack. Tony Berry's early run has ended. Juan Santo smells blood in the water, but he cannot get the move done. He'll have the back straightaway, though, if he wants it. All 3 of these cars should have a notable top speed advantage over that Tundra, so we'll just see the chaos unfold here. Thomas O'Reilly is close to Siegfried Brandt, but I don't think he's close enough. No, that'll just about seal the deal. Good braking from Brandt. That's going to be his victory. Juan Santo outdrags the truck. Logan Cool is outdragging the truck, and her teammate Taro might try and find a way by 2. No, he will back out of that. Victory for Siegfried Brandt. Thomas O'Reilly P2. Juan Santo looks like he'll come home 3rd in his first race with the new Mercedes. Logan Cool close behind in 4th. Tony Berry falls from pole to 5th and only barely hangs on to 5th for that matter. And Tyler did not get a chance at that Volvo, so he will stay in 9th, and Uni rounds out the top 10. So very close in the, yeah, there's honestly a lot of decent moving around in the, just the front 10 pretty much seemed like it was constantly changing. Obviously part of that helped by Siegfried Brandt's charge to the front, but everybody was jockeying, as they say. But it is a 1-2-7 for Black Stallion Motorsports. So a strong day from Demon Sports home turf for Black Stallion. Logan Cool does do well for his team with 4th, but there was only so much that the other drivers could really do. Inferno Rose started 18th in the race, I believe. And Noir and Thea got together on lap 1, and that condemned Thea to dead last. There's just not really much you can do from there. But that will end things from Road Atlanta. Let's head to Tuesday. We have reached Tuesday. Great start. Takes us to Switzerland, a track that's basically only been visited by a 525 class for the most part. And that will not change today. At Eiger... My throat really didn't like whatever I was doing. Eiger Nordwand will be the host for today's Sunday Cup. Basically, Sunday class race. Not Sunday Cup, but you know what I mean. Yeah, that's basically racing at sunset. Again. It should be pretty, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any other commentary here. We are away from Switzerland, and it's a pair of Honda N1s on the front row. Haru Urara immediately tries for the lead against Pepper Modesto, and will find it nothing. Guess you gotta get it done then, though. You might not get another chance to, considering you're both in the exact same vehicle. The one new vehicle for this race, Silica, completes the set of Challenge Series categories with the Daihatsu Copen to go into the bottom category. She has a vehicle for all 6 classes, the first driver from Artist Speed to achieve that. And yep, there is the other one. I don't know why I said the only one. There is the second one. Melissa Weiss, on top of her RAV4, also has an FJ40 Land Cruiser that she has brought to the battle today. Let's see, somewhere is Riho Futaba, the POV car, or Jeep, for this round. Weaving her way through the hairpins, trying to get by the Cappuccino Thrasher. She will probably get the exit momentum there. Thrasher will also possibly lose a spot to Kunimitsu Miura in the Demio, but I think he'll be fine. Everyone's kind of just holding station at the front right now. Ashhart took a peek on the Nissan, but Honaka stays put in 3rd. Still relatively close between the front two, but not really a whole lot of action just yet. I did not want to look back here. There is Riho up into 11th already, trying to get the late exit momentum to pass Hakure and Teresh. Gonna get the fit about the garbage truck. Oh yeah. Literally just looks like something straight out of like a cartoon. The tiny ass Suzuki Jimny, followed by a garbage truck and then a Honda. And then a Jeep, basically, in the form of the FJ40. Amber took another peek, but Honaka shut the door on her that time, and then she kind of somehow managed to get loose in the first turn. Futaba trying to bridge the gap between 8th and 10th as the top 8 just kind of got a really strong start. A lot of the cars back here bogged down off the line by Clean Teresh. Still nothing doing between the pair of Honda N1s. pretty much staying the exact same distance apart at all times. Like, practicing social distancing seems like kind of a little bit of a weird choice to make on a racetrack. Send it! Nope, never mind. Just a weird, perspective thing. Jesus, just something to me just smack the garbage can. Silica just caught Ashhart asleep at the wheel there through the hairpins. I was gonna say the agility of the Copen. Riker, the Mini Cooper is agile too. It's literally a former rally car. Most of the vehicles in this race are agile. Most. Around the outside, Futaba goes on the Gatorade machine of Logan Cool, up to 7th. And her next target is the other Suzuki in the... other Suzuki Jimny in the race. There's actually like 5 Suzukis in the race, but that's neither here nor there. Just 4. Mine. Contact between the two Jimnys. Yo just sort of turned in like Riho wasn't there, but Riho, not really affected, gets the 6th. Did she make a play on the Mini? No. They're a little bit closer up here. Of course, that may just be an illusion of sorts because they are going through the very slow hairpins. What is that line you're taking, Riho? Riho, who still has not removed the Planetoon Racing sticker from her vehicle, despite that team no longer existing. I think she just scared the hell out of Ashhart and managed to just sort of intimidate her way into the inside of the Mini, and through she goes to P5, but only 2 laps to go, and the 2 leaders are pretty well and truly gone at this point. There's no catching them no matter what you do at this point. She can still try for a podium, or she can get by Honoka and Silica, I suppose. And she will do just that, possibly on the long right-hander. Yep, just kind of muscles her a little bit, doesn't really move her out of the way, but just the wide exit she took forced Silica to concede, and then she'll just out-drag the Nissan heading up the hill. And our leaders will soon take 1 lap to go. Holy cow, Takuchi has not done any... That is uncharacteristically slow for her. This is like her bread and butter type of car right now, and she's not doing much with it. Oh, concertina effect in the second to last hairpin. Didn't damage Noir's vehicle because she hit her in like the side somehow, but it definitely damaged her own. And that will do it. We begin the final lap of the race. Haru is right there, desperate to try and take the lead away in a late surge with just a handful of corners to go in the race. Literally 60 seconds left of racing. It is quite literally now or never for Haruura. No threat from behind. Riho is like 7-8 seconds back at this point. He literally just has to find the move and make it. There's not much going on back here either. We're not really going to miss much if we just focus on this fight for the lead. Also, it's the fight for the lead. That's what we should be looking at anyway. No send into the set of hairpins. That's probably your best shot at a pass here, so I'm surprised to see nothing unless she just thinks she can outsmart Pepper. Good luck with that. She went to college for like 8 years. I don't think you'll be outsmarting her super easily. And indeed, off the final hairpin, slightly better exit momentum confirms that Pepper Modesto is going to meander her way up the hill to an Eiger Nordwand victory. But it was very close. Haru used the slipstream, got within, I would say, a half a car length. And these aren't exactly long cars either. I think they kind of had like a little, like, bumper tap at the end. It's kind of like, almost like a fist bump or something. Riho will cross for P3. Not too closely followed by Honoka, who will hang on to P4 from, I think, third in the starting grid, so basically only just got she held everybody behind her except Riho. And then we just kind of see the weird pack thing that formed as everybody that started ahead of Teresh versus everybody that got stuck behind him. Somehow Hakure got ahead of him and never got away. Don't really know how that happened, but that is all for Tuesday. Now we'll head to much faster cars on Wednesday. Wednesday's racing action takes us to Croatia, very much touching on some of the more niche countries represented in the Challenge Series. We go from Switzerland to Croatia. We only have one driver from here in the series, and he's not running this week. Same with, we don't even have, I don't think we even have any Swiss drivers on the grid anymore after, the Meyer siblings left the series. But Dragon Trail hosts the 715 category. And, I've heard some whispers about this one. You know, I mean, I heard a little bit about, like, I heard a lot about, actually, the Noir Thea thing. Mainly from Logan, but, I mean, it's not like she did that intent. That wasn't malicious or particularly stupid. I don't know. Anyway, but this one is a different can of worms, so as I understand it. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. We are green from Dragon Trail International. That is a huge start from Thrasher. Just dusts Logan off the grid. He's not even four-wheel drive. And it's a battle for the lead into turn one. Wayne Hansen already getting into the back of Bernice as he tries to make his way to the race lead early and by any means necessary, which doesn't particularly surprise me that that's how he's acting. Thrasher gets to third, clear of the one new car for this race. An LS-powered Toyota Land Cruiser, courtesy only of Racing Wolves and/or Demon Sports. It's the only two teams that could come up with something like that. And then we look to the mid-pack chaos as Brian Ice making very quick progress already. He's up to P9. He is the POV driver, so he started in dead last, as is tradition. And looking for 8th on Riho Futaba, making a third consecutive start, and she's not the only one either. DePrisco nearly runs into the back of O'Reilly, gets around the outside of his teammate at the Harbor Hairpin, not the Harbor Chicane. This is the Harbor Chicane. How did that happen? A decent run from the exit of the S's. It looks like Wayne Hansen must just get it done under braking here. Yeah, forces at the line. Bernice just kind of chooses life, gets out of his way because she probably already knows the atrocities this man will commit if you're getting his way. That is how the West was won. Oh god, it's chaos. Yeah, Ice gonna just tuck in behind his teammate, follow him through the chicane. The pair of my own teammates getting into it. And Ellie and Nozomi, not the kind of physical contact they're used to back there. And Logan overtakes his satellite driver, so to speak, in Thunder Larison. Who gets into the side of O'Reilly as his car is basically pitching back and forth. Brian Ice will join the battle. They're 3 wide, taking the start-finish line. That looks like fun, not really. And it looks like the Diablo will, he will win that engagement. Through goes Brian Ice, while Thomas O'Reilly and Thunder Larison fight on the exit of the final turn. So O'Reilly just outbrakes him. Pretty simple. I wasn't expecting a lot of agility from this, but he just... Thunder's, unsurprisingly, this thing's not prepared to handle this amount of horsepower, so it just kind of unbuckles the second he tries to get on the gas. It's almost like this isn't designed for 1,000 horsepower as it's designed. Yeah, I don't think his front tires, front right, I think it's just completely off the ground in this moment. So there's nothing that he can do as he just kind of almost wheelies into the door of Thomas O'Reilly. Brian Ice spots the opportunity, And we all know he is very opportunistic. You don't become the richest man in Canada by luck. And both cars easily dust the FJ40, but Thomas is forced onto a weird line. And his Cobra has to slow down for the first turn. The Diablo does too, but not nearly as much. And then he will pick up a third spot by passing Logan Cool at the chicane, who broke earlier than expected. Now he'll close in on the lead four, while chaos probably continues to unfold in his mirrors, I would have to assume. I mentioned that Riho is starting her third race of the week, and that she wasn't the only one. Alice Carson and Yo Watanabe have also started all three races. They've not had the greatest results thus far, and this will continue today, as I think they both got caught up in lap 1 scuffles. So they'll be relegated to the bottom 5, along with Buck, and I didn't see who else moved them. Oh, Honoka. Get your own teammate, Riker, come on. Alice is trying to get something out of it. She's fighting Buck rather aggressively up the S's, which is a decision to make. Ice dragging the C7 Corvette GT3 with ease. Group 3, excuse me. Looks like you got the better exit compared to Thrasher's Mustang. He's going to be taking the long way around. I don't think Ice cares too much. He's going to have the better line through the kink on the first turn, and through goes the Diablo. Now he's got 2 leaders ahead of him, one of whom is a driver that he has no lack of history with, and I'm sure everybody that's watching this race right now knows that. And then also Bernice is just here. Bernice trying to capitalize on the fact that her, and especially this Viper, have been on fire, pun not intended, since she came into possession of the vehicle. I think she's literally like 3 for 4 in this car, and she got second the time she didn't win. And I feel like unless something crazy happens, she's probably still set for at least another podium here. But for the moment, Brian Ice got a much better run through those S's, and she will be relegated to P3. Hansen, I think, started to defend there for a second. That's a decision to make. Crossover attack on the way out of the harbor chicane, or death chicane, whatever you want to call it. We'll see who wins the battle under the final turn. Oh, it's gonna be a big punterino from Wayne Hansen, forcing Ice to miss the apex. Barges him out of the way and then immediately pits. Yeah, welcome to Wayne Hansen, ladies and gentlemen. Brother fucking bear, that was intentional. It wasn't exactly like egregious amounts of contact, but it's still very clearly there was intent behind that. Look at that, look at the steering motion, that's as clear as day. Then he turns out of it here too. Okay, no, but he gassed it up, so kind of the same thing. That was definitely, like, at least mostly intentional, as Winter at some point got by Thrasher. It looks like the Mustang horsepower will get him back ahead of her, though. As you see the train being led by Logan Cool in the distance. Are they 3? Oh god, they're 3. And Logan just sends it. And he will stay in 5th. Everybody just kind of back out of it. I think all 3 of them immediately realized, oh, this isn't good. And immediately did everything they could to stop doing it. Thomas is going to miss that chicane. Dom DeCrisco might capitalize. He had the better line, but the Cobra sweeps around. Big jump for the Gallardo. Well, the Mustang horsepower, we saw it take the spot back on the straightaway, but Winter just outbrakes the hell out of him, and then parks the bus at the apex of the chicane to retake 3rd. Bernice, meanwhile, did not lose track of Brian Ice either. He's gonna send it at the highest point of the track, I believe, or at least one of them. I guess that'd be the highest point right there. And now we head downhill rapidly. As Rose attempts to make up boatloads of time with the added grip from that Group 3 body kit on that Corvette. And she is definitely going to do exactly that. We might see her send it here with the added braking force of the Group... Oh, yep, that's a send. Teammate, remember, that's your teammate on Demon Sports, but I don't think that lost him much time with the way that Winter just did that so decisively and just chucked it down there. We'll see if Bernice has a way of response on the front straightaway, or if she's just going to let Winter try and attack Brian Ice for the lead. Nope, Bernice is going to give it right back, send it right back down the inside, and the Viper gets back to P2. We're just throwing haymakers back here, but they're all perfectly clean, unless your name is Wayne Hampton, in which case, L plus ratio plus coat, plus Maul plus C, plus probably getting a week off. Depends on how particularly stringent the other stewards feel. Thrasher also out-dragged Winter again on the straightaway, and now I think we'll probably see Winter get past him again by the end of the Essence. Four very different cars with very different driving styles, all of which work here at Dragon Trail. Around the outside, the Corvette goes. This battle continues down the hill, and the horsepower gets Thrasher back to P3 for the moment. Nope, never mind. Made contact a little bit, but nothing massive. Winter shoots right back around the outside, and then parks the bus again to make sure that Thrasher cannot get back by. Final time through the harbor hairpin, not the final hairpin though. So we got two more chances to throw more haymakers. Thrasher does that. Very close to major contact at the apex. We keep it clean though. Thrasher will get ahead before turning in for the chicane. That might compromise Winter's ability to get any higher from here. Pushing Thrasher out of the way. Thrasher just has to let up. He has to concede that. You know, he chose life, I think, is the only way we could phrase that. And now he chooses P3, sends it on the Corvette, finds the Viper. Is that two Demon Sports overtakes in one hairpin? It is! Thrasher gets the last laugh, but Brian Ice is going to take the victory. Thrasher second, Bernice third, Winter fourth at a Dragon Trail melee for the century. Jesus Christ. Nozomi gets away with P5 after everything, and Logan settles for 6th place. A 3-4-6 for Demon Sports is not to be ignored, though, but it is ultimately Brian Ice victorious, and also a 2-7 for Black Stallion Motorsports. A 1-9-12 for Pacific Spirit, so not awful, considering where Dom and Mika started. I think Dom started outside the top 10, and Mika definitely did, so... But, yeah, definitely, it's just kind of in general, just a battle between Pacific Spirit, Black Stallion, and Demon Sports was just the story of the day, and Wayne Hansen made little more than a cameo in it. We head to Watkins Glen for Thursday's 750 Open race, so we're going to see 750 and 750R clash at the track here. I expect chaos. I have heard chaos. Of course, it's Logan talking to me. What else do you expect? We are green from Watkins Glen, and just from looking at the starting grid on the front row or two, you can already see just the absurdity, the absolute unadulterated absurdity of the starting grid. A CLK GTR just passed an Escudo Pikes Peak, a McLaren F1, and the front-wheel drive LMP1 GTR LM Nismo off the starting grid. Now, this is what racing should be. Just random bullshit. And here we have the POV driver, which is an old JGTC or Super GT car. I think it was already called Super GT by that point. Oh, big contact. Just saw that out of the corner of my eye. Jesus Christ, Silica. Yeah, That'll do it. That will definitely do it. Her car is messed up. Thrasher's is even worse. That's not cheap to fix. Thrasher got bumped into Barbara, so that's going to take her out of contention with big rear end damage. Look, everybody else is basically fine though. Despite Lightning kind of getting a little physical with Noir, stuck 3 wide between her and Logan. And we head up the hill. A 6-lap race here is going to be a bit on the long side, even with the fastest cars in the series. So, I guess grab your popcorn or something, I don't know. Probably going to need it. As Lightning takes the widest arc, forced off the road by Logan and Thrasher being 3 wide with him. He's gonna get both passes done anyway. The FIA would probably say he gained an advantage off the circuit, but he didn't have anywhere else to go. It's either he does that or he gets wrecked by an F50 and we have a 6-car pileup that probably costs 8 figures. And Thrasher's car is 7 of those figures. Up into the top half of the field for Lightning, sends it down the inside of the RT10 of Noir into 9th, possibly outdrag the C701? No, not yet. We do have a new vehicle in this race, Shiro Suzuka with a SC430. So we've just reunited the Super GT grid from 2008's GT500 class in this one race alone. But Suzuka's Lexus, the GTR back here, and then Silica fresh out of the pit lane after her lap 1 nonsense with Thrasher in the NSX. The battle between Lightning and Kurt Wilde for 6th. The McLaren F1 has the power to get away, but doesn't have the handling of the Super GT machine. Lightning will claim 6th with that decisive maneuver. And Juan Santo is gone. For 2 laps into the race, that is a massive advantage. You can even see from his shift points, he is not pushing that car right now at all. He hardly has to. He's got Yo Watanabe making her 4th consecutive start, basically covering the road for Suzuka, Emi Angelos, Emi's teammate Lightning, who's now joined the battle. Sinon and Kurt Wilde are also technically a part of it. I don't think Emi will put up too much of a fight. No, just let that one go. Let the faster Nissan, faster Racing Wolf's car try and attack the other Super GT, and then the no headlight Escudo. The track is luckily just bright enough where that wouldn't be an issue. Oh, bumper to the back of the 128. Suzuka does not care for your Iron Woman status, yo. You are going to get smacked out of the way, and through goes Lightning on the pair of them in the chaos. Now he's got work to do. Holy fuck, does he have work to do? That's like 10, 11 seconds between himself and the leader of Juan Santo. He's not going to have any pressure from behind. Suzuka's car is damaged from his own stupidity, I must say. And he brought that upon himself. 3 places for the 218 and 640 car. No, 627. 640 is somebody else on the team. 640 is literally Lightning, Riker. Come on. Yo's gonna miss the exit of the boot. Yo? Hey, Yo? Yeah, you deserve that. You deserve all of that. Well, that has totally destroyed Sinon's chances of getting a podium, would be probably. Now the 3rd spot goes to Emi, and never mind, Emi ran into the back of Yo on the way into the pit lane, and then Emi does this. She signaled. This car doesn't have signals. Still, she took the pit in lane. I don't know. Might have to review the, does that car have signals? That seems like a problem if it doesn't. No. Doesn't even have brake lights! Okay, we might have to review that. That doesn't seem safe here. Lightning is on the road again in pursuit of a CLK GTR that's now about only 6 seconds up the road rather than 10. Skip ahead a lap here. I kind of forgot how to commentate for a minute, and there was not much happening because Emmy is about to pit. Kurt Wilde will inherit third by doing literally nothing except not crashing into things. Noir will attempt to contest that in her RT10. Nothing doing at the moment, but man, she could not be much closer to that McLaren if she tried to be. And she just might yet try to be. I mean, it is Noir. She has been on a rampage lately. But speaking of rampage, Lightning has caught, oh Jesus, caught up to Juan Santo. Contact made. Juan forgot to look at his mirrors. I don't think he saw that Lightning was still there after his weird corner exit. He doesn't care. He's just gonna chuck it into the second turn of the boot. Or no, that's the entrance to the boot. And Lightning will just fuck off right there. We're gonna get ahead, no contest. Let's see if Santo has an answer for that. He's gonna have straightaways. There's like 2 or 3 of them of pretty decent length here. And the SteelK GTR is the fastest in a straight line of the 750R cars. After the moderate nerfs to any Group 3 competitors and Group C competitors, excuse me. Literally just the classic power versus handling here. The grip of the GT500 car versus the GT1 with a straight line speed of yes. Kurt Wilde hangs on to third against Noir. Maya O'Brien and Riley Blanchard. Oh god, all of the Corvettes. Jesus Christ. Corvettes in a Camaro that thinks Corvette. Just McLaren and Dodge Viper lead 5 Chevrolets, and then we have the cars that have been damaged in this race. Also, hi again, Alice Carson, making also her 4th straight race. And Rio Futaba, they're just literally just the Iron Women of this week. No threat from behind at the front of the grid. Juan Santos maybe biding his time, but he's only got 1 more straightaway left to do it. And he's not really that close. Despite aggressively stomping on the throttle out of the toe. This is his last chance, and that is not close enough. That's like the last breaking point on the track for these cars, pretty much. I mean, this is a breaking point too, but he's not close enough now either. So that just about does it, I would say. And watch the last 2 corners with vague interest. Literally just flat out through there, damn near, for the Nissan. Some braking for the last turn, but Lightning Larson's going to add a 4th circuit to the back of his GTR today. Victory from Watkins Glen. Juan Santo very close. These two have been in a competitive rivalry for the ages here in the Challenge Series. As probably the 2 fastest cars in it. Now that's a shot right there. Quick wallpaper material for you, I guess. Looks like Kurt Wilde is going to retain the podium spot here. Noir is certainly pushing for it, basically drifting out of the 3rd to last turn, but I think, yeah, that is safely in Kurt Wilde's hands. Suzuka getting back up to 9th after everything that happened just tells me that he definitely had pace and might have been able to keep up with Juan and Lightning. Probably just followed Lightning up to the CLK driver, who I think probably got a little too conservative in the mid part of the race, and the lap times show it. 39s, even on the lap that Lightning made the pass, versus 42s and then a 41 when Juan realized, oh shit, there's a guy there that's going to pass me, and he did it. It is the roulette race. Friday brings us to the Circuit de Spa. As we fade in on the view of Eau Rouge and Raidillon, which is quite fitting because that's basically the only reason people know what this track is these days, it feels like. But probably one of very few tracks out there where the most famous corner is actually still the most difficult one. But no, Eau Rouge and Raidillon is an absolute menace still at Spa. And there's a lot of corners here that are menaces, but that is the menaceiest. That is the menacist. There we go. That's a new word for you. I call it a roulette race. It's not really a roulette race. It feels like one because of just the nature of what the event actually is. It's not. It's a 3-class event between 715, 640, and 675 class. A 776 split. 6 cars in 640 class, 7 in the other 2. Bernice is the POV driver as she starts last among the bottom category. And we have a redesign on Suzuka's MR2. Basically just a couple new stickers and a new sponsor on the back. As this is just a travesty waiting to happen with this setup of drivers in this top class. We have 3 NFR cars, one of which is the leader of Noir. Now that you can really see her, there we go. And we have the leader of Noir. Demon Sports is made up of both Logan and Bernice, and they've had plenty of beef with NFR lately. Uni and Barbara are also here, not that I really think Barbara is going to be a big problem. And then we also have Southern Speed Co. representation with Tank Tomlin and Tyler. And, you know, Tyler has also beefed with both NFR and, to a lesser extent, Demon Sports in the past. So, all 3 of these teams are just kind of in this neutral fuck you triangle, and they're all going to be fighting for the win here at Spa. And then we have the last new driver of the week, Wanda Glass. Sorry, the wondrous Wanda Glass! I was told to do that. Yeah, former pro wrestler, but she wasn't really treated like a professional. Instead, decides, fuck it, race cars. She has an RX-7, she is sponsored by Hot Wheels, and she's also already joined Gina's team, because Gina basically just started doing door-to-door salesman type shit, just like, hey, you drive an RX-7. Oh, contact Tomlin trying to nudge the literal 25% tank Camaro out of the way. Good fucking luck with that. Yeah, that's the Southern Speed Co. and Demon Sports beef. There's one side of it. I'm sure we'll probably see the other sides as this 10-minute race goes on. Especially as Bernice is catching up to Noir. And this would, if they get together, it would mark the 3rd time in exactly 5 weeks that has happened. No, 4 weeks. What am I talking about? Week 144 was last year. Jesus. Oh boy, that is the way to pass. How did that even get me a little upset? Why are you doing it here? Just wait for the fucking chicane, you maniac. Noir does not have a response. Everything is pretty calm back here. I'm not really surprised. Barbara and Tyler, former teammates, I don't expect them to be having any problems with each other. As we see the 675 battle's not really too far removed from the back of 715. Alice Carson making her 5th start of the week. She has started every single race this week, and she's finally trying to go for a victory today. But she's going to have to pass the front runner of Suzuka for that first. And Rio is literally just, damn it. Never mind. I was going to say, is this a JDM war? No, Hanamaru in her E30 has to be here. That's kind of almost like an honorary JDM car though, but Rio, Yo, and Alice are making their 3rd start today, all in the 675 class, go figure. Roxanne Reyes is leading the 640 class, so dominantly in fact that she is ahead of a 675 car in Alan Thornton. And Emmy got damage on lap 1, the cameras missed it though. Logan up to the back of Noir. Might be looking at a Demon Sports 1-2 in the not-so-distant future. Tomlin has fallen off a cliff. He has damage. There it fucking is. There's the NFR nonsense. Uni smacks into the ass of Tomlin's car. And then on a vehicle like this, that rear aero damage is going to be so much worse because it's more aero dependent than your average RCF or C8. Suzuka, not Suzusa. What the fuck is that? Suzusa. Setup. I don't know. Fuck it. Brain not working. Anamaru tailgating that RX-7 of Ryo Futaba at the moment, but no overtaking, bro. It should be effective, I swear. That's a verbal tick. That's not something that people who are not from New Mazu specifically will ever do, but it just spreads because it's Hanamaru and she's adorable. She makes a verbal tick cute. I don't know how the hell she does it. Anyway, up to the bus stop for the second time, and still nothing doing. Logan's gonna send it though. He's not gonna. Yep, yeah. Jesus, Leroy Jenkins or something or other. Not gonna work though, but he might get the edge. He might have more power. Takes the FL with that. Never mind, Barbara takes it immediately as well. Down the inside of the hairpin, still nothing. Two admins who have had nothing but beef since they both got signed on, pretty much. It was originally a competitive rivalry, and just kind of like, haha, fuck you, but now I think it is actually just spite. And it is now at Demon Sports 1-2, and those are the last words that Noir wants to hear, but it is the reality of our world. But she's gonna send it back at Lacombe, not Lesource, that's the hairpin. It's not gonna work. Logan is going to get his elbows out and make a very wide Camaro. Barging the Camaro out of the way is the NSX. That is not a good idea. That is a very bad idea, and that's also just more NFR behavior. I hate that I have to fucking say that. It used to be my team. It's annoying to watch this team, at least specifically Uni and Noir and Fenny, be just maniacs. I remember there was a time Noir said that she was done dragging her team's reputation through the mud. Now she's trying to press her luck and see what she can get away with before basically becoming a fucking martyr. Seriously. There's no other way, there's no worse a way to tank your reputation than just turning yourself into a martyr to show what you think is bias in the stewarding team that you are a part of. And also going out of the way to seemingly to hit other members of the stewarding team or drivers directly tied or related to the stewarding team, like Fenny running into the back of Tank Tomlin, Tyler's teammate. That is a tongue twister, holy shit. I don't know how I didn't screw it up, honestly. And now Noir just kind of barging Logan out of the way. You don't just do that. Oh, bumper to the back of the 235. Twice. Nudging her out of line, getting her into the lead. Bernice, not happy. Logan's going to take second off that, but I don't think Bernice is going to let him have it for very long. No. There is... Barbara, holy shit, hang on to it. Too much curb. Around the outside at Eau Rouge. She might have the advantage on power. It's a Viper versus an NSX. Yeah, Bernice back to the lead. She is going to show Noir how angry she is by driving ahead of her angrily. If only everybody else could do that. The one that people label as a fucking psychopath is the normal person. The one with pyromania is the one that's like, I'm angry at you, but I'm not going to be a bitch about it. I'm just going to go ahead of you and race, because that's why we are here. It's not that fucking hard. Raggy. Fuck. That should be all the excitement for now. I say that as Alice Carson continues to tailgate that MR2. Cameraman, you got it there, pal? My word. That was interesting. Reyes is just crushing the 640 class right now. She's on the back of Yo, who is also in 675. That BMW is a fucking beast! I don't get it. How has nobody thought to drive this sooner? Maybe it's the driver. I don't know. It could be Reyes herself, or it could be it could be both. It usually is both in motorsport. You can have a great car, but you need a good driver to do anything with it. So somehow I missed this completely. But after the chaos from Noir doing her thing, I think Barbara just missed her braking point. I think that's all that is. That's why she got so loose. I caught that, but I didn't really catch why. So, oh my god, I thought Tyler was about to have the send of the decade right there. That would have been honestly fucking hilarious. He should have just committed, honestly. Though Noir has bigger. When? Oh my god, I'm surrounded by idiots. I mean, honestly deserved, but also like, fuck. It's not gonna really affect Noir's result because we're on the final lap anyway, but like... I hate that we had to heighten the stewarding, like, you know, the stringency of the stewarding before this season because it's just been nothing but headache! Still battling for the lead for the 675 class. Carson and Suzuka are locked in a battle of wits at the moment. Looks like the S2000's finally got the decisive corner exit. Holy shit, that thing is a rocket. What the fuck? Does the MR2 have an answer? We're going bored with Suzuka. Let's watch an actual battle that doesn't involve fucking murder. Wires, vengeance, deceit. You almost forget what those look like. I think the speedometer is having a bit of a problem at the moment. Doesn't really know what it's trying to read as Suzuka heads up the Kemmel Straight. Oh, we didn't need those. Jesus. I can't imagine Noir is really capable of getting up to Bernice right now with the car in that state. Yeah, sure enough, I predicted it too. We had a fucking melee. We started with 7 cars between Southern Speed Co., NFR, and Demon Sports, and only 2 of them are going to make it to the end of the race with no damage. Bernice, miraculously, and Tyler, who was at the back of the queue the entire time and stayed out of all of the horse shit. Does Noir do something stupid at the final corner of the race? I guess we'll see. That is, she got pretty close, but I don't think she's gonna be able to... No, it's gonna be Tyler! Last second, yeeted it in there. Yeet it like delivery. Tyler's gonna steal second. What a fucking play. He did it cleanly. What a concept. Bernice victorious for, I think, a 3rd time in the Viper alone. Tyler sneaks second away from the damaged Noir. It's almost like she made her own bed, and she's gonna have to lay in it. As they hit the last turn, Alice Carson will be the victor in 675. But the most dominant performance I've seen in a bit, Roxanne Reyes absolutely puts just belts to the 640 class's asses. She started an extra lap that Thrasher and everybody else behind her did not start. She started a 5th lap that more than half of the top category did not start. Well, this has been thoroughly chaotic. So yeah, Bernice Carson, on her 5th start of the week, she finally gets one that matters. and Reyes are the winners of the day. The fact that Carson doesn't have a team of any kind is kind of funny to me at this point.